Two inner-city youths are left to fend for themselves over the summer after their mothers are taken away by authorities. This is the inevitable defeat of Mr. and Pete.
Tell me, where am I supposed to go?
Insufficient funds.
We can't tell anybody we're on our own.
How long has your mom been gone?
Usually they keep her for a day or two.
It's been almost 3 weeks.
As soon as mom gets out, she can take me to my audition.
What audition?
That's why I'm going to Beverly Hills.
She going to jail. It's inevitable. Inevitable, baby!
I was looking forward to the inevitable defeat of Mr. and Pete after I saw the trailer. I thought it looked like it could be really good. It looked like the kids were going to deliver really, really great performances. And I have to say, I enjoyed this movie. Not quite what I expected, and I didn't enjoy it as much as I hoped I would. However, I was right about one thing, and that is that these kids give fantastic performances. I'll get a little more into the acting in a moment, but first, let me get into this movie starting off with the plot and the writing, which I thought was interesting. However, my main gripe, if you will, although I did enjoy it, is the fact that the first 2 acts of the movie kind of feel like I'm watching scenes. I understand how they're connected, but it doesn't feel like they're necessarily connected in a linear way, which is not a problem. It feels like they're all just kind of like scenes that could have happened out of order in some cases. Some things happen that aren't really followed up, like the fridge in front of the door, the turkey in the oven. It's like, okay, it happened, and then nothing really comes of it. It's just a scene. So, not that that's a problem, but it just didn't really work for me quite as well. I did think, though, that the final act of the film, from a certain point, it just really, really flowed well, and I was really, really invested. I got emotionally invested just there at the end, but that's probably due in part to some really great characters, and that's the writing and the acting. Now, directing-wise, like I said, I do think that it felt a little bit like scenes. That's probably partly to do with the directing as well, but cinematography, great. I did think that the tone of the movie was really, really good. It worked very well for what it was worth. I felt like it was a little heavy-handed at the start because it felt like, okay, these kids are really down on their luck. There's a lot of shit going on. And so it almost felt like a bit too much, but then it does let up and it lets you sort of, you know, take a breather here. Unfortunately, I don't think the pacing was ever quite right. Like I said, it did feel like I was just watching scenes. That also might be partly in the editing and the music. I thought the music cues were kind of choppy. It went from something emotional to something funny, like immediately, and just felt kind of awkward and kind of clunky. So I'm not sure quite what it was. I think that might be partly the blame here, but definitely something a little bit off about that. One other thing I'd like to mention as far as directing goes, though, is that I loved how they handled that one sergeant, that one cop that kept coming around and scaring the shit out of them. He was very menacing to begin with, but the way that they portrayed him, like this almost mythical thing that comes around the neighborhood and they're like, oh shit, they're like, it's a monster. I thought that was really, really cool, really well done. And finally, like I said, probably the best part of the movie is the acting. These kids give fantastic performances. We've got Skylan Brooks, who I thought was the best, and then Ethan Dizon, if that's how you pronounce it, who I also thought was very good, kind of a supporting role relative to Skylan, but both of them did a great job, and I think Skylan has a really, really bright future ahead of him. That's all I can say. We also have Jennifer Hudson. I thought she did a very good job. Like I said, a little heavy-handed at the start, but I thought that she did a very good job as well. Jordan Sparks, also very good, not in it as much. And the only other person I'll mention is Anthony Mackie. I wish there was more of him because I was really, really interested in his character. I would have liked to see a lot more of who he was, where he was coming from. You know, you got glimpses into his character, but I definitely would have liked more. I thought he did a great job. The fact that I wanted more from such a small part in the movie, I think says a lot. But honestly, the acting overall, really, really good. The movie overall, I thought was good. I didn't think it was great. I thought it could have been a little better. I did have some issues with it, but I did enjoy it. But I would like to know what you thought of the inevitable defeat of Mr. and Pete, so please let me know in the comments. What did you think about the acting, first of all? What did you think about these kids? I do think that they did a great job. What do you think about how I felt about the first 2 acts versus the third? I don't really know if maybe that's just something that I thought or if anybody else would think it, so definitely let me know. Let me know anything that you want about the inevitable defeat of Mr. and Pete. I'm glad that's the last time I have to say it out loud, and that's pretty much it.